recording.
All right, let's roll.
Ready?
All right.
Okay, now ladies. Oh, wait, I'm ladies.
Hello. Welcome to Rhythm and Pixels. We're a video game music podcast. I'm going to have to kill Purnell's mic in a second here.
Yeah.
Because whistling is no good.
Oh, no.
I said
no good.
Outlawed. It was 2018. We said no whistling.
You have a lot of nerve to downplay the skill,
Or was
the
it-
absolute majesty that comes from my whistling.
Right?
I honed this skill on the mountains of Mount Toot.
You need like a pass, like a
Where's
hall
that?
pass. You need a license to whistle.
I toot as I please.
Dude,
Can I get a whistle license?
You don't need a whistle license to toot. It's all about freedom.
Yeah,
You're free to toot.
You gotta go to the county courthouse, and you gotta.
They
fill out
can't
a few
take away our
forms.
right to toot.
$300.
Imagine having a license to fart.
Oh,
3
that's
weeks later.
expensive.
Yeah, that dice. I like to whistle. The world's gonna hear me whistle.
I get
or
fined
roar.
for every time I fart. Yeah,
What?
I don't have a license, so
Man,
Oh,
Yeah.
so
man,
you can
that's
become a
whack.
pirate.
yeah, it's just I got tickets, unpaid farting tickets.
Take you and the family hit the high seas because farting is freedom.
We're a video game music podcast. We listen to great video game music from all consoles and all generations every week. My name is Rob Nichols,
And I'm free to fart.
And joining us today is the talented, the lovely Chel. Chel, how you doing?
It's been a long time, and I've missed. Also, was I supposed to record my own audio? I forgot. It's been so
No,
long.
don't worry about it. I don't have time for
All
it
right.
anymore.
Hell yeah! Saves us all some trouble. Well, how has it been? Like, it's been over a year. I want to say.
Yeah,
Has it
at
been
least-
2 years?
At least, no, it's been at least a year.
It would have been back when the thing you were here to talk about today was going to Kickstarter. So whatever. that
Right?
happened-
Oh my God! That was 2 years ago.
Wow. In that case,
Jeez.
then, holy pickle.
So many things have happened in our lives, respectively, since the last time that we've been on. Since I've been on this
It's
podcast.
been a lot, yeah. Yeah, I moved my whole office down to the basement because now upstairs
Yeah.
it's a nursery. So a lot's going
Yeah,
on.
you got hid. I got knives, and also I was actually I had my own podcast for a short bit.
Oh.
I'm no longer on that podcast, but it was called Lifetimes of Saved Data. I'm still on very good terms with all the other hosts. But I was part of the thing, and then we went our separate ways amicably. But that's a plug. Lifetimes of Saved Data.
Well, given the title, if you ever want to do a spin-off show, you could just say something like, I don't know, like Ghost Data or Ghost Files.
Oh, I mean the acronym
Ghost
of our show
Drive.
is LSD.
Oh, even better. Call yourself the Ghost Drive.
well, what was the show about, if you don't mind me asking? Even though it's
Also just video game stuff, just
okay.
nerd stuff, just talking, just four people talking.
yeah,
Except I talk. Oh my God, I ramble. I'm a good guest. I'm
that's
not
why we
as good
love
of a
having
host.
you on. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, Chel's coming on. I
Yeah.
can just like sit back,
Hell
just
yeah!
hang out.
I could go through every single knife in my collection.
Welcome to Red of the Pixels, the knife cast.
But the way you describe
Battle
that,
songs.
the title of that show reminds me it's something that Purnell should do, because Purnell's got stacks of like old memory cards from games.
Oh my God.
And you should just plug them in and be like, I got finish this one, put in the PS2 memory card, put in the PS1 memory card.
Well, that's what I did recently.
Maybe you
I
should
started
be a
playing
guest.
Legend of Legaia, and I was like, let me see if I have an old
What's
save
Legend
file
of
for that.
Legaia?
Yeah, on PS1, it came up in general combo, and I was like, I wonder if I have a save file for that. I do.
So that game
I'll
came out
just put it-
before Outcast's Hey Ya.
That game came out before
Oh my
Chel was
God.
born.
Oh, wait. No, PS1? No way. What year was this made?
Probably 90s. When were you born?
We don't have to.
Yes.
We don't have to. We don't have to. No, not on the show, Purnell.
1997, I
19
think.
diggity
Or
doo.
90.
Oh,
or maybe,
no, I told you I'm turning 30 this year.
or maybe later than that, because I thought
I'm
it was when I
older
was
than
in
this
college.
game. I'm older than this game by 5 years.
Well, I have had games I broke out before you were born. We
Oh
played
yeah, I'm
Vandal
sure.
Hearts, and we played Beyond the Beyond.
Boy, now I have to look up all these games.
We
Vandal
just played
Hearts.
Rondo of Blood last night.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That's Castlevania.
Uh-huh.
Rondo.
I'm older than that game too. Vandal Hearts.
All right,
What was? I don't even know what you said after Vandal
Castlevania
Hearts.
Rondo of Blood.
No, I'm older than Castlevania. Especially Castlevania not 1.
I don't know. I'm starting to question these things now.
I think it was
Me-
Castlevania.
my-
Oh no! I was wrong. I'm younger than Castlevania Rondo of Blood by 4 days.
By 4 days.
5 days.
I'll take
5
it.
days.
I'll take it.
Yeah, 5 days.
I love it.
That's
God,
right.
I thought I was older than Castlevania, like something. Oh,
Like
man.
Dracula's Curse or something? No.
I don't know. My
I also
cousin played
recently.
My cousin played Simon's Quest, and I played sort of Simon's Quest growing up, and of course it's like the bad Castlevania.
Whoa! Whoever said
Simon's
that is
Quest
wrong.
is not a good game.
It is a great game.
It is the game
It is
that made
not
me,
a good game.
I
it's the game that
like
made me
it.
love. Like it made me realize I loved music in video games because I think I was like in grade school or something.
Oh,
Simon's
that
Quest,
great music.
And I was like humming that
Castlevania
music.
2?
And it was also
yeah.
before there was an established formula for any Castlevania.
Oh,
that
what a
got
terrible night to have a curse, Simon's, or like that one.
Yeah, you gotta keep in mind when
man.
Simon's Curse came out, there was only Castlevania before it. There was no
Yeah.
formula. It was just here's another game.
Yeah.
So
They were trying different things out.
yeah, and then the third game
Yeah.
was like we came up with route systems and sub characters, but we went back to the classic
Damn.
platformer stages.
Yeah. Made it-
Super
Yeah.
Castlevania did that, and then it was like, screw that, let's create a genre.
Let's just do Metroid, is what they said.
Pretty much.
Anyway, Chel, we have you on the show today not to talk about Outcast or Castlevania or how old we are compared to video games.
Or
You're on the
Spy
show
Family,
because the game that you were
Battle
kickstarting so many years ago that you're definitely older than.
I am definitely older than the video game that I'm working on, because that would be really weird.
Could be a paradox.
Oh God.
Predestination.
So I am working on a game called Whisker Squadron Survivor, and 2-ish years ago we kickstarted a game called Whisker Squadron, and we actually made it into like 2 games. Whisker Squadron Survivor is kind of like Star Fox meets Vampire Survivor. You fly a ship through like Star Fox-esque corridor levels, and there are a bunch of enemies, and you gotta survive through 10 zones. And as you kill enemies and collect experience, you get upgrades, and you can kind of do different builds, and you fight bosses. And it gets pretty intense. I don't think I've actually ever beaten the game yet because, I haven't like tried super hard because I've mostly been testing. But this game comes out in, as of this recording, in 8 days. It comes out August 21st. Yeah, that's right. August
look for a code for
21st.
that.
August 21st. Is it going to be on
Yeah.
Steam, I'm assuming?
It is going to be on Steam. That is currently, it's an early access launch. And we're going to have, it's starting with 2 playable levels. And a third one is on its way. And they're gorgeous. This game is called Whisker Squadron Survivor. And it's made by Flipfi. They are the developers of Race the Sun. So if you like Race the Sun, you're gonna like this game too. If you like Star Fox, you like Vampire Survivors, you like Race the Sun, you like games that involve survival and flying and airplane and having really cool music by a really cool and attractive person, it's gonna be a hell of a time. So wishlist Whisker Squadron Survivor, or just to buy it, because I don't know when this episode's coming out. It might be out by then.
Quick question though. Well, technically 2 of them. Do the
All
characters in Whisker Squadron do the talking like Star Fox? Do they talk like that?
So I originally was going to do that. I was going to have I have actual recordings of actual cats, and I splice it up and try to make it all Banjo-Kazooie-ish.
I love it.
But it was a little too silly, and our game has gone into a more serious-ish direction. So right now the talking noise is just a standard like a boop, and it just like boop 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 boop. But like nothing.
Blips.
Yeah, text blips. So that's what the characters sound like. But who knows? Maybe we'll have. Don't take this for as a word of law. Like maybe we'll have voice acting. I don't know.
Hey, I could do that voice. I could be like, yo, Govett. But
So yeah.
but
You have a very
They're-
distinct voice. You're like the John
Yeah,
Benjamin of podcasts right now.
I don't know who John
I'll
Benjamin
take
is.
it.
John Benjamin, Archer, Bob's Burgers.
Oh yeah.
like you know the voice even if you don't know the name. Trust me on that.
I don't know the name. Yeah, it's Bob.
Yeah, Bob. Yeah. He was also Coach McGurk on
Home movies.
Home Movies. Oh, my favorite.
He was in a Wet Hot American Summer
Yeah.
as a can.
As the can.
So I guess the second question I have
That was
is
another
just
game
to
you
make
worked on,
sure I
right?
understand. Whisker Squadron Survivor's coming out. Whisker Squadron Prime is still in development, though, right?
Yes. So we have Whisker Squadron. There's a subtitle name. But for now, just think of it as like what the game was originally planned as was kind of split into two different directions. And that is definitely going to be still in development. But first, Whisker Squadron Survivor launches in early access, and then we're going to have some post-launch support. And then we're going to flesh out more of what the game, like kind of like an original vision of the game with a sort of new twist. I don't know how much detail I'm going to go into that because it's kind of on the horizon, but like there is still the game that we promised from Kickstarter. And the Survivor version, we were honestly not sure if it was just going to be like a playable mode, but then we flushed it out into its own full game, and it's actually so fun. It looks amazing. In my opinion, it's amazing. And it's just really fun. It plays really well, and I'm so proud of my team, and I'm proud of my own work. And there's like 9 of us working on this game, and I love my team so much. I honestly do. It's such a joy working with them.
It just means you have to make another game later. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to make another game.
Bark
we're doing
Force.
2 games at least. Bark Force. Oh my god, that's actually a great name.
Yeah, the crossover, the Whisker Squadron versus the Bark Force.
Yeah.
I believe, I think the episode should probably be out by now, by the time that it launches, or at least right before. But we're actually going to do a bundle with Exodiac, which is another game that's like Star Fox inspired, more the SNES Star Fox. Mm-hmm. Our game has taken a sort of like, I would say like a pseudo synthwave look, but the music is not. Though I do want to write more synthwave. But that might be a later thing.
Well, we can. I think you brought a track from the game.
Yeah, I did.
But let's listen to some tunes. And
so our theme is cats, right?
Yeah, I said cats and
it's
animals.
funny. He told me animals, but he was like, but he
No!
no, he did prime me. He did say we're primarily looking at cats.
Primarily cats.
Primarily
Oh my
cats.
God.
But he said animals, so I came close to being like animals. I'll pick animals, but no, I was able to pick solely cats.
Okay,
Solely
because
cats.
last time we did pilots and stuff,
I like
and then we did
stuff.
just pilots because you did all these non-pilot things. It was like mech pilot, and I'm like,
It totally counted. It totally counted. Mech pilots are pilots.
So yeah, we did pilots and stuff, and then we did pilots, I think. And now we're like, well, I can't just do pilot again. So we did cats.
Could have just done stuff.
Stuff.
Stuff with Chel.
Well, of
Stuff. Oh my
the
god.
tracks that you sent me, Chel, which track do you want to start off with?
How about we start off with my song, since since we were already talking about it. There were there's like 14-ish tracks on this album. It'll be on my Bandcamp. It'll be on Steam. I'm shilling so hard. I feel it in my blood. But I decided to pick the song that I most recently wrote, and it's called Molten Reactor Meltdown, and it's by me, your favorite at Chel Wong Audio.
All right, let's hear some Molten. could get it out of your head, you're not doing it right. It's a part of
you spent so much time on it, right? You spent so much time working on the song and on the pieces that, like, I guess, and you hear it again, you're like, okay, yep, and you start singing along.
Yeah, when you birth the product is a part of you, and as a result, it ain't going nowhere. At best, it might go away if another one is born that eclipses the previous product. You're like, I don't need that song anymore.
I still get it stuck in my head. I was tempted to pick another song called Ravine Lurker. It's like a song that you'll have to like find the location that it's in.
Is it in a ravine?
Sort of. It was originally supposed to be written for. The idea was originally supposed to be a mushroom, like a fungal cavern, but then it kind of went in a different direction. And the original song was like a little goofier-ish sounding, and then I had like a boss version that just sounds really sick. As cello playing by my good friend Mason Lieberman. So that song, I was really tempted to pick, but I decided to go with this Molten Reactor Meltdown one because you'll more likely hear it in the game, and I think it's a more conventional song, whereas the Ravine Lurker, I almost called Pit Lurker. But that one, yeah,
that's another game we're working on, guys.
Pit Lurker.
Yeah. But yeah, that song is you can hear it in the soundtrack if you can't find it in game, but hopefully you can find it in game. Wink wonk.
I have to keep this in mind later because I think one of my bucket list items is to get a theme song written.
That's right. Have the Purnell theme song, but it's got to be like a Saturday morning, or like a primetime Friday night '90s sitcom.
Either that
it's
or
Purnell.
It can either be that or a Saturday morning cartoon, or honestly, it can take on so many elements. I like Saturday morning TV shows.
Yeah,
I like TGIF sitcom shows. I like crescendo character themes and RPGs, that kind of thing. So like, it can really be any sort of thing. It just has to be like, this is a theme song. Like if I'm walking to a room,
really rinky-dink theme song,
that would be hilarious. Like I just walk into a room and like the music starts to play, as long as it doesn't involve a damn tuba.
Oh yeah, I could do that.
Don't write a tuba. It's like, hey, that's the fat guy theme song.
Oh, you don't want tuba. You do or you don't want tuba?
I don't want tuba. That's the fat guy. Yeah. That's the fat guy.
And then I won't do a tuba.
These are important
I think tuba's great, but it's Purnell. And then like all the laugh track and clapping like Purnell, and it's just like Uncle Purnell.
Just like random.
And then you do cool uncle guy things.
Yeah,
like hey everybody, and all the audience applause like it's Purnell's room.
Yeah.
Like,
oh man, I might if you want me to, I can try and write a very very low effort theme song for you.
I mean, I can't imagine it being a high effort because that's what you get your bread and butter from. So
yeah, I mean, if you want to pay me, I can write you a higher budget one.
Here's a sample reel. This is what it could sound like for free, but imagine what it would sound like for cash.
I'm just imagining like the sample. It's just like Audio Jungle. You gotta have that voiceover to make it like stamped over so you can't just use it. At Chel Wong Audio, not licensed for usage.
Like, whoa, Chel just blessed my track.
Chel Wong Audio. I like it.
Yeah.
So you were talking about wanting to do more synthwavy type stuff, and although this isn't totally synthwavy, that arpeggiated like kind of bass thing certainly is.
Yeah.
Is this like like you want to do more of like this kind of style, or is this kind of like when you're moving towards for this game?
So essentially, the game kind of went in a somewhat more vapor synthwave-esque visual style. And the trailer, so we actually have an animated trailer done by D-Cells, who are making Unbeatable, this rhythm game that was also on Kickstarter at the same time as us. And so the music of the trailer is good, but it's not by me. And people are like, whoa, synthwave visuals and soundtrack. And I go, oh no. I didn't do that. I didn't have much to do with the trailer. Like some of the game audio that I did is in the trailer, but the audio of like the animation and like the music of it, it's more of like a sort of a dark synthwave-ish thing. And I guess you could say something about my song being dark synthwave-esque. But I don't know. It's just something that I'm like, I could explore this more and I guess lean into the sort of genre. But like my team was also like, hey, don't feel like you have to. I want to. Don't feel like you have to because like trailers obviously are not necessarily always indicative of like everything is going to be 100% accurate, especially when you have things like Call of Duty using like licensed music. Like that's not going to be in the game, right? And so I'm like, yeah, you're right. And obviously I'll have a whole nother game to think about and figure out how to do music for, because it's gonna be different. I'm gonna kind of rack my brain around how to write music for that one. But
it's funny you say that actually too, because it just brought to mind the trailer for a game that came out earlier this year called Atomic Heart, where I ended up buying it eventually anyway, but originally I was going to buy it because the trailer had like Jensen Ackles in it from Supernatural, playing like the character. And I'm like, whoa, Jensen Ackles voices the main character of Atomic Heart. It's like, no, he actually doesn't, but we just got him for the trailer. For some reason,
that's a big get.
It's a big get to not have him in the game, though. It's like, oh man, Jensen Ackles is in the.
Hey, trailers are way cheaper to get someone to act in than an entire video game.
Oh, that is true. Don't get me wrong. It's just like you were saying before, where they were like, don't worry, it's not meant to set you up for what's in the game. It's just sizzle for the game. It's like, okay, that's what they did. They got Jensen Ackles for the sizzle, but you'll get that guy. It's like, oh man, it's like the sales, like they're advertising unlimited shrimp.
Man,
and the game I'm going to go is like, actually, you only get like 3 types of
Jensen
shrimp.
Ackles left Supernatural and was like right to the boys, and like that was pretty big.
Yeah.
But the other guy, what's his name?
Jared Padalecki.
Jared Padalecki left and went and did Walker, Texas Ranger.
And I don't think it did well, though. I heard the show wasn't bad.
No,
it's bad. It didn't do well.
At least I tried watching it. I did not have a good time.
Oh no. He did a good job. Jensen did a good job in The Boys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I missed that.
Oh, what the? It was something. He was basically like, what if Captain America was? Because the whole thing about The Boys is just like, what if superheroes were not good people? And it's like, it's a good show, but it's also very pulpy and very, very cynical and scathing kind of like look on like the commercialization and like the consolidation of power and money and government and stuff. It's like really good. But also just like, what if superheroes were just unchecked and not good people?
Right.
And
I mean, the individuals with all of this power, like the chances of them being amoral are super high.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's it. And Jensen Ackles' character was like you said, Captain America type, but he wasn't evil per se, but he also just did what he wanted. Like that was his shtick.
He's not a great guy.
No, he's not. I'm not saying, but it's one thing to say not a great guy, another to say like evil, like cartoonishly evil. Like he's just more like, I do what makes me happy, and if it means that someone's getting screwed in the process, then so be it. But there's a show that's similar with the vibe. What is it? The Sam and Bucky show. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which it has some kind of like, I don't know about the politics of the show sometimes, because it's like, oh no, our antagonist is too likable, we have to make them do a bad thing. But it was similar where it's like Captain America is no longer Captain America, and then what if we had a new Captain America, but who isn't Steve Rogers, aka like a paragon of justice and good? And I'm like, I love Steve Rogers. He's the man. But not Steve Rogers. Captain America is, well, he's not such a paragon of justice, and he's a much more flawed person. And so then that was like a similar thing of like The Boys, but way less pulpy, but then also having some sort of like confusing political kind of stuff, because oh no, it's a good show if you ignore the confusing politics of it.
I haven't gotten back. I watched a couple episodes of that.
Oh, which one?
There's too many Marvel shows.
The Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I dropped.
AKA the Sam and Bucky show.
Yeah.
I pretty much dropped almost everything Marvel when I because I disliked them or nothing like that. I'm not one of those guys like, I hate it. Just like you said, it's too much. Like I lost track, and then when it came time to get back on board, I was like, I can't do this.
Just watch Shang-Chi.
I did see that. I did see that.
All right,
and that was a fantastic movie.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Shang-Chi, Simu Liu was in the Barbie movie as one of the Kens.
Oh yeah, I saw that on one of the.
That was a fun movie.
One of the posters or trailers, and I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah. I went to high school with one of the actresses. I probably won't say her name on this podcast, but I was just like, "Whoa, that's crazy!"
That's cool.
And she's like famous now, but that movie is really fun and doesn't take itself too seriously. Neither should you.
I still want to see it. I'm probably going to see it when it comes to video or DVD or whatever. But I do want to see it.
right, let's move on to some more music. We're gonna keep our theme of cats. So I've got some interesting ones for you. This is from the game.
Oh yeah.
Socks the Cat Rocks the White House. No, I'm sorry. Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill from the Super Nintendo. This is very 90s. This is based off of Bill Clinton's cat Socks.
What?
Yep, a video game for Bill Clinton.
It came up before you were born.
Oh no! It did it actually.
This is music from Level 3. I don't know if this is like the actual name of the song or if they just or whoever ripped it named it that. It's called "Don't Stop to Count the Debt." Level 3 from Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill for the Super Nintendo.
Recall the first game you played?
Super Mario Bros.
Which
or
one?
Duck Hunt.
Oh, the NES one?
The combo?
Super Mario Bros. Plus Duck Hunt cartridge.
Nice.
That and Pinball are like my definitely first 3 video games.
Yeah, we talked about this before, right? What was yours?
We were trying to remember them all, and I was trying to establish whether it was like combat or pole position or that crappy Atari version of Pac-Man.
Oh man, that was bad. Yeah, I remember when I grew up, my dad had it was like one of those like Pong units he got from Radio Shack.
Mm-hmm.
It had like 8 different versions of Pong on it. We all had like these little paddle controllers. But that was a long time ago. And then we had a 2600, and yeah, I don't know. We had a lot of games for that.
It's why I like asking that question to different people, because it's honestly hard for me to remember the specific game. There's like this ball of games that all were in the same era that I played. So when someone's able to definitively say, I played this game first, I'm like, wow, that's actually really cool that you can remember that, because I can't.
Yeah, well, it's because I had an NES. Like, I had a NES when I was a wee lad. And those were the first 3 games. And then I grew up playing N64 games. Like, I do remember that, but like for sure older than that was the NES with Mario Bros, Duck Hunt, and Pinball. And then my dad threw it out.
Threw it out?
Yeah, he got really mad at us and he threw it out. It was awful. It was awful.
See, I threatened my nephew with that, but I don't think I'd ever actually do it.
Oh, bro.
Now that I'm a dad, I'm gonna throw out so many games.
No, you're supposed to put them in the closet, but tell them you threw them out, and then when they get good again, you say you repurchase them, and then there you go. But you have to delete the save files, though, so that way they know, they don't realize that you just have the old copies.
Anyway, we're listening to Level 3 from Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill, an unreleased game for the Super Nintendo, composed by David Govett. The whole soundtrack's pretty funky. Oh, yeah. I think that fakey Super Nintendo saxophone is supposed to be Bill Clinton playing the saxophone.
Oh my god!
Or at least partly, definitely inspired by him being a saxophone player.
I love it.
Saxophone.
I love that fakey like synthy sound that's all pitch bendy for the Super Nintendo.
Like, I never played this game, but I just remember the game being at the store. Like, I'm not even sure if it was ever a Nintendo Power.
No way.
Just,
this
I don't think it ever released.
No, this game was unreleased.
Did it ever release?
No, it had a box.
I had a box.
No way.
I'm going to look this up
I
now.
should look this up. What is the lore of Socks the Cat?
It's on the Wikipedia. It wasn't released until 2018, I'm telling you.
I feel like I remember seeing this somewhere.
You're getting Mandela affected, dude. In your old age, your memory is getting all twisted.
My back! That's what happens when you turn 57.
Right.
It was planned for release 94 early in Clinton's presidency, but it was canceled when Kaneko went under.
You know what it may well have been? Probably just saw the general box art somewhere.
Yeah, you probably saw like in a magazine, and you were like, "Yeah, that's because I remember this game too." but I probably just read about it and was like, "Ooh, I wonder what this game's like in your imagination."
So I definitely never played it. I can tell you right now, I've never in any capacity played it.
I get this game mixed up with Rockin' Cats for the NES.
Oh my god!
I remember Rockin' Cat with the boxing glove. Gun.
Yeah, that was a really cool game.
Jeez Louise, I don't remember this game.
Dun dun dun.
What, Rockin' Cats?
Yeah, I don't know either of these games.
That was one. I want to say I was a later NES game.
That was a late in the late in the systems because it was really like the colors and the animation was like way more advanced. Like later generation of these, the later games created for these generations of systems were always like way more advanced than like the first games that came out. If you compare Rockin' Cats to like Kung Fu.
I will say in a really disturbing way, like leading off of what Chel said, I have noticed over the years, as I start to recall older stuff, that there is this sort of like ripple that I have to sift through when it's like, oh, that game, yeah, I've played that, but I have to recall whether or not I'm referring to an actual memory or like just the dialogue of having discussed it in the past.
Oh my god.
It gets weird. Like, I'll be hanging out with some friends when we were all getting onto like the whole kinds of nostalgic games, like retro games. Like, oh yeah, that game. What's such? Do you remember the boss at level 2? Like, I do. But give me a minute. Let me sift through the records here because I feel like I'm confusing with the boss from level 2 of a whole nother game that also features werewolves. Like, it screws with me. And
this is me trying to remember, like, when someone says my name and they say hi and I don't have the context of how I know them, I have to sift through my entire memory data bank of, like, who is this face and voice? It's like that, but with video games. You're like, who is the second boss of this game? Am I getting mixed up between Gunstar Heroes and Wild Arms or something? Yeah. I don't even know. I haven't played Wild Arms.
Okay, Pernell, what is the third boss of Chippendale's Rescue Rangers for the NES? Do you remember that?
First of all, I wouldn't know that because there could be any multiple third bosses in Chippendale Rescue Rangers. So
listen to this. Listen to this trivia. Trivia, man.
I mean, it's the facts. I mean, Zone A is the first level, but then you branch off between Zone B and Zone C.
Oh, no. That's the trivia lore. He knows the trivia because there are multiple answers. He got got. He got got.
Forget it. You know what, Pernell?
Let's try to
back it out.
Pick some music so I don't have to talk to you anymore.
Forget it, Rob. It's Chinatown. All right, this comes from the game Pochi and Nyaa. I just got it and found it as background music 9, and I played this on the Neo Geo.
Oh my god.
This is composed by one of these people, Daisuke Nagata, Katsumi Tanaka, or Ko Hayashi.
Yeah, I think they're part of the Neo Geo or the SNK sound team. So here we go.
How bad of a time I'm having. I feel like it feels good to just be hanging out listening to VGM in the basement. Like it has an effect.
Playing Melee in the basement while listening to random music, that's the life, my man.
Yes. Oh, admittedly, I suck at Melee, but still, I can see that being tons of fun. I still have my Smash Brothers Ultimate game. I bought all the DLC, and I'm sure I've unlocked like 2 characters. It's one of the games like I want to get people around to play it, but no one wants to, and I'm not good enough to be playing with the big boys, so I just kind of don't go to tournaments.
Dude, I'll just play random characters against you. I'll rock my Pichu.
I feel like you'd still wallop me with any character.
Yes, you're right. I would, but
damn,
friendship. It's not about winning. It's about having a good time.
I remember
talking about friends.
Round 1 with Ian. And I was like, oh, they got a Ultra Street Fighter 4 cabinet. And I was like, I used to love this game. And he's like, well, you're so good at it. Like, I'll just pick random characters, you know? And it got really boring real fast.
Because he was just like stomping with the randos.
I'm like, stop jumping. Yo. I know all the anti-airs. Stop jumping.
Yeah. Oh, man. Also, Street Fighter 6. I forgot to talk to you guys about Street Fighter 6.
You still got time.
There's still time, but Pernell, lead us out on this track.
Okay, so you are listening to BGM 9 from the game Pochi and Nyaa, as in the sound that the cats make in Japanese anime and such. Nyaa. Released for the Neo Geo and composed by Daisuke Nagata, Katsumi, Tanaka, and Ko
The sound the
Hayashi.
cats make. Yes.
Nyaa. So, I'm like Wario. So, my experience with this game is the fact that I don't know what the story is, like I don't for most puzzle games, because that's kind of
It's
not
a puzzle
important.
game, right? Yeah.
But what I do know is I played this at one of our Neo Geo gatherings, and the person was like, "You like puzzle games, right?" I was like, "Yes, I do." It's like, "You've probably never heard of this game. It was one of the last Neo Geo games to come out, and he had a copy of it, like a physical copy of it." So he hooked it up. We were playing it, and the idea behind this, as far as a puzzle goes, it's a typical drop blocks puzzle game, but the pieces are multicolored cats.
Oh, it's really cute.
And at any time you basically, like in typical puzzle games, you link the matching colors up so that they line up and touch. But at any time, you can just change the blocks into like their destructive versions, like crash blocks.
So you're not waiting for like that crash gem.
Exactly. You turn it into
puzzle
the crash whenever you want.
Oh, I like that.
And the garbage blocks that you send over are actually like stone dog statues. So that's the Pochi component of the title. And the different
Pochi's
characters.
a dog?
Yeah. Pochi's for dog and Nya's for cat.
Gotcha.
So the whole premise of the game is like these random characters battling each other by dropping cat blocks and breaking them and turning them into dog statues. It's the weirdest premise, but the music in the game is an absolute bop. Like, I like every track in the game.
Yeah, it's just pretty frantic. Like, this is like that kind of like super happy like anime cat music that I associate with Purnell, honestly.
Happy cat music.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Not circus music anymore.
Yeah. No, this is kind of circusy to me. Like, I imagine like at a carnival, this music playing.
Oh, I can work with that. And the funny thing about this, the thing I liked about it the most is that when I was introduced to it, it was in the 2010s, maybe mid to late 2010s. But when I was introduced to it, it was an old puzzle game that was new to me in the 2010s. Kind of like how it was with Landmaker, where it felt amazing to get to play this old retro puzzle game in a modern day as if it was new to me. So it was like learning Magical Drop 3 all over again.
Oh, wow.
So it felt great to be like, oh, we're doing a tournament. We're doing a Pochi Nyaa tournament. I'm in. And I was going to town on this damn game. I love it.
Yo,
It feels
my
good.
man is a tournament player for Pochi and Nyaa.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm like the best at puzzle games because I'm bad at a lot of games.
Sure.
But if there were a genre of game where I felt like I could actually compete with people at a tournament level, it is the puzzler genre. So I will get it in. Just don't play me in freaking Tetris Attack because I learned from a friend how brutal that game can actually be. Planet Puzzle League, on the other hand, oh yes, I will go to town on that.
They're both panel to pawn though, right?
Yeah, but Planet Puzzle League is with the stylus, which means you don't have to worry about the sliding the blocks into the right spot. You're dragging as you need to, as fast as you want.
Just touch the pieces, right?
Yeah, you're as fast as your hand can move.
Yeah, I'm really into like we used to be playing puzzle games all the time competitively. We had a group.
DS player.
Yeah, we would all hang out and play fighting games, but then we would bring over like puzzle games and be like, hey, look, no, this is really good too. We should do this also. We play like Puzzle Fighter, and we play.
Oh man,
what else we play? Puzzle Fighter was the main one.
Yeah, Puzzle Fighter still has it too. Like I was at a bar down at Rehoboth Beach, it's like an arcadey bar, but arcade games, I'm like, okay. I've always been saying that the arcade aspect of these classic bars is kind of more decorative than like appealing long term.
You need to keep it down a little bit.
But the alternative to that is that in addition to that, they had tables at the bar area that had retro machines set up, like the TurboGrafx and the Super Nintendo.
Wow.
And they had the PlayStation retro, PlayStation Mini set up. So we were at the bar playing Super Puzzle Fighter while drinking beers and such. And we were drawing small audiences as we were getting into it. Like, it still holds up.
Well, you get really excited playing these games, and the more excitement that you have, enthusiasm, it kind of gets people involved around you. And fighting games are the same way.
Dude.
Okay, let's listen to some more music, and let's talk about Street Fighter. Because I've seen a lot of Street Fighter 6, but I have played zero amount of Street Fighter.
No, for real, dude?
The console.
I don't have a lot of time right now. And is it only PS5?
I want to say maybe Steam also, but it's PS5.
Oh yeah, I can't play it then. Yeah, I don't have room in my house for a PS5.
Well, it's Steam.
Okay.
Yeah, Steam.
Hook me up with a computer, guys.
You have a computer.
I did, yeah, that does not have a 3D card or anything 3D related.
Oh, you can make that happen.
I can make that happen.
Yeah, you could.
I could make that happen.
You could make that happen.
No. Computers are for work. Game stations are for games. That's how it works. Separation of church and state.
I'd like to have my computer be powerful enough to play video games for testing. Wink wonk. But also, for like funsies. I actually just haven't been playing nearly as many games as I used to. Is this getting older?
It is definitely getting older.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
I still play more games, but my mind doesn't want to sometimes. It's just like, it's almost like routine.
Yeah, I've mostly been playing Arknights on my phone, which is a gacha tower defense.
Oh, man. I do like the idea of tower defense.
With gacha components?
No.
You love
I stopped at tower defense. Tower defense.
It's unfortunate that's a gacha, but I actually legitimately love Arknight.
That's the thing. It's like there have definitely been a couple of games I've come across where it's like, this does look like fun. I just don't want to start because I know I'm going to get mad. It's like, I want to unlock that. Well,
that's how they get
play for a month or just pay for it right now. Like, well, nope. But I agree with you. Like, that's how they get you. Boop.
I looked up Arknight, and it looks like a tabletop game. So maybe I'm looking.
It's Arknights is ARKNIGHTS. That's it's by Yostars.
Got it.
And it's a tower defense.
Hey, that looks good.
It's really fun. Really fun.
All right, let's listen to some more tunes. Chel, you brought a couple more tracks. What should we listen to next?
Right. So, for my next track, I decided to choose from the Hat in Time DLC, the Nyakuza Metro, Rush Hour. I believe there's Calm Hour and Rush Hour, and I believe the Rush Hour version's for like combat. But it's like a 5-minute long track. It's really dope. That's by. It's on the YouTube link. I'm sorry. His name is 3 names. It's Pascal. Forgot his full name.
I know it's Pascal something.
We can get it when we come back.
Yeah, we get it when we come back. Don't worry about it. Here we go. Let's listen to some music from Hat in Time. All right, we're listening to music from The Hat in Time, the Nyakuza Metro, music by Pascal, Michael Stiefel, and we're talking about Monopoly.
I did have something to comment related to this, which is I'm glad that Chel likes the game proper, though, because I played it a ways back, but didn't beat it. I played a good chunk of it, though, and then stopped and forgot about it for years. And in the last week and a half, it's come up in a video game of the month group I'm in, and this is going to pretty much be the game of the month for next month, because many of us, including me, voted for it. So I will be diving deep into this game again very soon. But I did get nostalgic for it and boot up one of the bonus levels in the movie studio stage, where you're like jumping on a bunch of pipes and like electrical wires. I'm like, this game is still fun, but man, this camera is driving me crazy.
I don't think it's that bad. So Hat in Time is a 3D platformer collectathon that is inspired by like Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64 / Sunshine, Wind Waker, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. It's like the culmination of so many things that I love, and it's a pretty good marriage
Why
of it.
Paper Mario?
The humor. The humor and the writing is very Paper Mario style. Specifically Thousand Year Door. Thousand Year Door is one of the greatest games ever made. And you can tell when people love Thousand Year Door because it has affected their humor and writing and art style almost too.
I'm trying to remember if it was Thousand Year Door, the original Paper Mario that had the turtle that called Mario Murphy.
Oh.
I always reference like, hey there, Murphy!
I love that. That's so funny.
I want to say that's Paper Mario 1, but I don't remember who. I don't remember who does that.
It was like a mayor, like a turtle mayor.
Oh, no, that's Thousand Year Door. That's Thousand Year Door. Because, that's in Coop Village. But, basically, Hat in Time is a really fun game, and they released 2 DLC for it. The first level, basically, there's 4 main levels, or like 5, kind of. First one's, like, kind of standard. Then there's, like, the movie world, which is like really weird and interesting in a fun way, and it's very distinct. And then there's like a spooky level.
My favorite one.
Then the fourth world, the fourth one. Did you ever get to the windmill one?
No.
The wind. That one they just say go, and then you just walk around and explore and just do really really good platforming levels, and it's so fun. But then they also
released. It's better than the forest though, with the freaking spooky guy.
Yes.
Like, sell me your soul.
That guy's hilarious. But the fourth level is really just pure gameplay. There's not as much story in that area, but it's just super fun. And then the first DLC is like this Arctic cruise. That one's like okay. And then the next DLC is the Nyakuza Metro, which is also just a big playground. It's so fun. It's like you're in basically like Tokyo with a bunch of cat Yakuza, and you got new cool outfits to wear, and it's just really. I want to replay the game and try and 100% it. I would do. I was like, maybe if I were to speedrun a game, I would pick Hat in Time, but honestly, I would probably just do a regular ass play of just going through and getting all the timepieces, because it's such a good game. It's so good.
Yeah, the humor's on point. The platforming is solid. I like the different hats and the abilities that most of them give you. It's just good, and
there's also a lot of mod support.
I think at least when it came out, and obviously I'm assuming it still holds that vibe, but when it first came out, it felt like someone redid it and like released an unreleased N64 platformer. Like, it felt good to play.
Pro ZD's voice acting in that game. It's just really fun, and it's cute, and it's adorable, and it is a culmination of a lot of Hat Kid. She's adorable. Hat Kid is my daughter. She's just a goober.
And is her rival like Mustache
antagonist?
Kid?
Yeah, her antagonist is this girl named Mustache Kid, and there's also like this disco penguin and this train conductor who might be an owl, but it's not clear, and this giant shadow guy, which is a sick boss fight with one of the sickest boss tracks ever. Like his boss music is so good. It is a really really good game, and if you like 3D platformers like Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, and you like art style of Wind Waker, and you like the humor of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, you're gonna have a great time. Also, there's mod support and online multiplayer.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, you can do 2-player co-op, or you can just have a whole group of up to 50 people just running around in a giant playground.
I love that. That's cool.
Would it just be doing your own thing, or still you're still trying to fulfill the stage goals?
You're mostly, I mean, it's both. You're kind of independent. It's kind of like how Pokemon's current multiplayer is in Violet, where you can have up to 4 people. It's not nearly as interactive as I hoped Pokemon would be, but because you're all just kind of doing your own thing. But you can also play picnic. You can go to a picnic together. Anyways, though, and you can do raid battles together. But mostly in Hat in Time, say you have 50 people in a lobby, and if you're all in a big Discord or whatever the heck, you can do tag. You can just be let's play tag, or whatever. Or hide and seek. I don't know. You can do something fun and silly like that because it's just a big old playground.
I love that.
But also, I think you have the independence of just you're all in the same lobby, but you might be able to be in different worlds. You're just pseudo connected. But you can also do 2-player, which is a lot more interactive, and you're hard tied to each other.
I would like to try that actually. Then and
it's
that's
really
kind of cool
fun,
that they would add that feature.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was a later add into the game, but it's cool. They was you know what? You want to play together with your friends? Now you can, because this is a labor of love game. But it does also feel like it was a labor of love game, not a capitalist game.
Well, I feel like
it was kickstarted. Yeah,
to include networked multiplayer into a game has to be something you have to think of early on. You can't just tack
it's a
that
nightmare.
on.
Mm-hmm.
So it must have been something planned that maybe eventually they were able to finish, which is really cool.
Yeah. It might have been a Kickstarter bonus, because I think 2-player co-op was in Starter Works, and then I think later they did the 50 multiplayer thing.
That's cool.
I have so many feelings about people who think you can just tack multiplayer onto things, because it is not. It's not like that. You can't just do that.
Yeah, it's.
Oh my god!
You have to think about these things early on when you're developing all of the little engines and pieces and all the parts that work together. All right, so we're gonna move on to my next track. This is another NES. We actually talked about this one earlier. This is from Rockin' Cats. Cat-based platforming game for the NES from well back in the day. We're gonna listen to music from the New York stage.
When was the last NES game released?
All right, we're listening to music from Rockin' Cats. It's a short one, just shorty. This is New York for the NES. This is cool. So this game, you're like a 50s, 60s gangster style cat running around, but you have like one of those guns that shoots out a punching glove.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use it to hit enemies, but you can also use it to throw it at an angle and swing around like Belmont in Castlevania 4. And that's kind of the main way you get around the stages, is you swing around and do spins and stuff in the air. It's really smooth. It's really fast. It's really colorful for an NES title, which is really great.
So,
all right, how old is this game, Prince?
So the running joke on this episode has been me, prodding Chel, saying this game is older than you.
Is it older than me though?
But then the question became, what was the last released
91.
NES
it was
game?
a 91.
Oh, it is older than me.
Older than you.
It's older than me.
But I started to question, for the sake of making an easy hit, what was the last released NES game? Because I knew they released well into the Super Nintendo's life, and it turns out that it was a combination of two different games I've come across. One was the PAL version of The Lion King, which came out in '95. But the last full-blown, at least in the States, U.S. release was Wario's Woods at the end of '94.
I love Wario Woods.
It's such a good game, actually.
Oh my god, I played that so much on Animal Crossing on the GameCube. With the
that was one of the games you
emulators?
could get one of the carts.
Yeah, I played Balloon Fight, Excite Bite, Wario Woods, Donkey Kong. I had DK Junior. Oh, Cuckoo Land. I had DK Junior Math. I had golf on my other town, which I like barely played. I feel like there's an alternate universe where I got Punch Out, and I got really into Punch Out.
I guess speaking of that, actually, like that's something that came up in dialogue for like regarding Animal Crossing that I don't understand how Nintendo hasn't done this. Like, so like you said earlier, one of the earlier Animal Crossing games, probably more than one of them, offered the ability to buy, using your bells, you could buy NES carts and then play those NES carts in your house with the TV and the game console.
So those games are only playable through Animal Crossing.
Yeah, like in the game. So like what
Animal Crossing still has to work.
But the thing about it is that Animal Crossing's one of their big hooks is inviting people to your town to engage with you in your town, but they don't have things you can buy specifically with the intent to invite people to your island, to your house, to play things. Like, they should have games you can buy that you can take and say, okay, you're coming to my island, I'm going to set up a play day for all of my friends to come to my island and we can do stuff together. Like, that just seems to make sense to me. Yeah. You could have these multiplayer games.
Why can't you just throw in multiplayer?
Well, they have. Oh my
God! I will kill you. I will pick you up and I will throw you.
Just chop down your trees. That's pretty much what you could do.
Chel gives you the spinning SPD.
I mean, but that's the thing. Like, what do you do when you go to Animal Crossing, other people's towns? It's like, oh, this is a nice neighborhood. Be a shame if someone vandalized it. Like, I mean, there's nothing to really do.
Yeah, well, that's why you have to have friends that can give you that you can give like modding ability so that you can build an island together, because there's not much else you can do besides just here's my town and here's my neighbors and here are my froggy chairs.
Yeah, it's like, give me something to do.
Legitimately, that was a pandemic activity of like, check out my froggy chair collection. I cannot move them when you're all here.
The pandemic is why I gave the game another chance, because I was done with Animal Crossing.
That was like the pandemic game, like 2 or 3 years, no, for me 4 or 5 years before, it was Pokemon Go. Like, that was the game everyone played.
Oh my God.
For some reason, like,
that game brought world peace.
Everyone came outside to play that game, and then suddenly everyone was trapped inside, and then it became Animal Crossing.
Yep. And Animal Crossing, for that time, it served its purpose.
What's the next thing?
I don't even want to know, because it's going to be something bad, I'm sure.
It's in this future where we all have to live in trees, and we're all playing, I don't know,
Donkey Kong.
Some version of Donkey Kong.
Barrel
rolling in trees. And it's just a game called The Ground. I have a friend named Chase who worked on a game called, I believe, Aground. So maybe that'll be the hit.
I'm ready for it, and we'll see. But let me take my time, 'cause I still have things I need to do before I get absorbed in the ground.
Oh man.
But like, I know
Cave Story.
Oh God, Cave Story was so good though. I'd be okay if everyone played that. I'd be
that game's so good.
Yes, it is.
So if that was the only game you had left to play ever, you'd be happy.
Well, not so much. Not go nuts here. The game has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yeah. I mean, I need something that's going to give me longevity.
You can play that. You can play the beginning, middle, and end many times.
I feel like Super Smash Bros. And if I were to pick 6 games, all right, so there's a fun mind game, or a fun like mental idea of like, if you had picked 5 or X games without any internet access, what games would you pick? And it's like, okay, for me, it would be at least one of the Super Smash Brothers games, maybe a modded version of Melee where I can play with like harder computers, or maybe Ultimate just because there's so much content. And then Super Hexagon probably, just because you get lost in the sauce. But then there's like so many other, like maybe like Endless Legends, which is a 4X, and there's just so much text that you can read. Like, so it's like if you were to pick 5 games, like, and you were stuck in like solitary confinement. For
that's an added element. It has to be solitary confinement. Because I was going to say Mario Party, but no.
No. Yeah, if you were like stranded, or you were stuck somewhere with no internet, and you had 5 games that you could choose, and it was like, okay, well, I got one of the Smash Bros, maybe like a modded version of Melee, maybe PM or something, Super Hexagon. Endless Legends, and then like I don't know what else.
Dicey Dungeons could be a pretty fun one to have.
I need to finish the Dicey Dungeons DLC. I have it on my phone. And I really enjoy it.
Yeah, Dicey Dungeons is a solid pick, and there's all the content for each of the different characters. Like, I would obviously finish it someday, but I think it would take me a while to pull that off, and it's fun just to mess around with.
It's a great game. I just don't think it's nearly as challenging as some of the other roguelike, like Whisker Squadron Survivor. But also,
well, the thing is, I mean, like Sheeran the Wanderer is still to me like the toughest of that ilk. Like, I mean,
what is this?
Sheeran the Wanderer. It's like it was one of the OG roguelike games, but then the version I got into playing was the Tower of Fortune, the Dice of Fate, which has some brutal content in the post game to the point where I could never conceive myself beating it. I could never or perceive myself having completed it. So I would have that just knowing that I'll live on an island completely frustrated of dying over and over again well into old age and death. Just like, you should kept trying, kid. But with Dicey Dungeons, I don't think the game by design was meant to be like a game where you're going to just get stuck.
No, it is a healthy level of challenge.
Yes.
So
Sheeran the Wanderer is not.
Oh no! If I were to pick a roguelike, let me check my roguelike folder.
I have a friend who like did the final dungeon of one of the content elements of Sheeran the Wanderer, the Dice of Fate. Actually, it was Mike. He's listening to the episode, and the last level of this statue cave is so bonkers BS that he actively not only did he solve it because he wanted to get the trophy for it, but he wrote a small FAQ, and it was multiple pages long. Like, it was just freaking sick. And I'm like, you put in some time for this thing. He's like, well, I was determined to beat it, but it's that thing was like, I was like, I would never have done
with the text art.
Yes, it was.
I think I would do either Enter the Gungeon or Risk of Rain 2.
I could play Gungeon for a long time.
As your island game?
I've not really scratched the surface of Enter the Gungeon, but I know that if I were trapped for a long time, that's a game that since I've barely scratched the surface, and there's so much game in that game, I could probably spend a long time just.
So I guess I
feel like you gotta have something chill too.
That's a question for listeners, actually. Now that you mention it, because I feel like that's some good dialogue that could come up either in the Discord or just if someone writes in or anything.
In the comment.
If you could name 5 or so desert island single player games specifically, because it's gotta be solitary.
I mean, you could do multiplayer games. You just wouldn't have other people to play with. Like if you could play Mario Party with computers.
That is true.
You're allowed to do that.
Just know that whatever game you pick, you don't have humans to play with you, and you don't have internet access.
Because of that, I don't think I would ever choose a fighting game because I feel like those games are, to me, I enjoy them most with other people.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. You can only battle Seth in Street Fighter 4 so many times before you wonder what the point is.
It's true.
The computers in Street Fighter 6 are actually really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mostly just play online though because it's good. I've been slowing down. I haven't played since Rashid came out. And then Guilty Gear Strive has had new stuff too, and I'm like, oh my god, they're adding Mr. Johnny.
Not Mr. Johnny.
Mr. Johnny.
I know Johnny.
Daddy
Mr.
Johnny.
Johnny's a little too much. Ooh.
Daddy Johnny.
That's definitive.
Oh man, can Daddy Johnny with all his coins be my sugar daddy to buy me all my expensive battle songs?
Did you watch?
I need a sugar parent to buy me battle songs. They're not cheap.
Did you watch any Evo this year?
Oh boy, I did. I watched on Sunday at least. So I caught King of Fighters, and Guilty Gear, and Street Fighter. I watched all Street Fighter and Guilty Gear top 6. Part of King of Fighters, because my internet was being a little bonked up, and I was like doing other tasks. And I did end up seeing I think the grand finals for Tekken, or maybe I saw top 6 for Tekken. I don't know. I saw part of Tekken. Yeah. But yeah, Evo was great. Oh, and I saw part of Dragon Ball. I forgot about Dragon Ball. And I guess also, what's that other game? Grand Blue exists. I don't know. I don't particularly care much about Grand Blue.
Poor Grand Blue.
But yeah, Guilty Gear was hype, except that Happy Chaos is a plague upon our video game because he is antithetical. I could do a whole podcast about how Happy Chaos is antithetical to Guilty Gear. My friend hates Ken more than I hate Happy Chaos. Or, my friend hates Ken as much as I hate Happy Chaos, at least for Street Fighter 6. But honestly, I think Ken is, so core to Street Fighter, even though if he is, really, 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 really good in Street Fighter 6. But Happy Chaos is just antithetical to Guilty Gear in so many ways. It's just kills a lot of that what Guilty Gear is about.
Oh, that's an actual character name. I thought you were describing an actual player that plays in the tournaments.
Oh, no.
It sounds like someone's handle, right? Like someone's...
Yeah.
There's Happy Chaos, a.k.a. Brian Smith.
Leppin, known Super Smash Bros. Melee player, played Happy Chaos this year at EVO. And won.
Chaos.
Spoiler, sorry, but like...
Nah, I have to catch up. I meant to watch it, then didn't get around to it. Things are late. When all this stuff runs on the East Coast, it's like... I mean, on the West Coast, rather. It's late.
Right?
Positive,
well, it's in Vegas specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as they're recording it for posterity, you can always catch
I
up later.
can always catch up.
My friend in the UK fell asleep during final top 6 of Street Fighter because it was like 1 a.m. Eastern.
I mean, it's not about the ending so much as like what led to the ending.
Well, I was thinking what I was originally wanted to do this year was like because a week after EVO, like right after EVO, and at the same hotel casino is Black Hat, the big security conference that I go to every year. And I was like, I'm gonna go a week earlier and go see EVO, and then roll right into Black Hat.
That'd have been fun.
But didn't work.
You're in a
out.
security conference?
Yeah, it's like all like it's Black Hat and DEF CON. It's like Black Hat is like all of like the security vendors and like the CIA and FBI and stuff. And then DEF CON after that is like no one gives their real names and no one pays and everyone pays in cash. And it's like
what?
Yeah, it's like hey,
why are you going to this conference?
Because I'm a security guy for my company. I do it all.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Do you want to be my sugar daddy?
No, it's fine.
He's like, I don't have. I'm being spread thin over here, Chel.
I'm already a daddy.
Yeah.
Which is why I didn't
What's
go to
another
Vegas
kid?
He's already got the sugar.
The
sugar has
Chel
been
shows up and
all I
like,
need is a knife.
like Chel. The sugar has been claimed.
Yeah, you can't keep playing knives around with my kid like that, Chel. Sorry.
Oh, don't worry, I got trainers. The one I'm flipping right now is a trainer.
I see because you've been picking it up
What
with your
makes it
foot.
a trainer? Is it like a rubber?
It's not a real blade. No, this one's metal, but this one is plastic. This one's my trans flag flipper. It looks like a kitty cat. This one was a live blade, but it was I sanded it down so it's not sharp enough to actually cut anything.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, this is my favorite knife. The LDY Cygnus. I could do a whole there's no visual element to this podcast, so I'm so sorry to listeners, but you can check out my secondary YouTube channel, Chel Wong Balisong, as well as my primary YouTube channel, Chel Wong Audio, except Chel Wong Balisong is where the Balisong talk is.
Are you ultimately working up the ability to just have like your battle stance for combat where you have two knives and you're twirling them simultaneously and then your intro music plays?
I can kind of twirl two knives at the same time, but I'm very much not left-handed, so it's harder.
Like the Final Fantasy VI theme starts to play or the battle theme starts to play, you're like, double knives!
I'm trying to remember the sixth one. That one?
That's the one.
That's the boss, right? Is that the boss theme?
That's the regular battle theme.
Okay.
Boss decisive battle.
Oh yeah,
Rage Cage at your
that's
heart.
a good one.
Yeah. Well, we gotta watch out. We might get a content ID'd on YouTube if you keep doing that.
We're talking over the same short loop, aren't we? We should probably move on to Purnell's.
No, wait, no, this is my favorite part.
Loop.
Oh yeah.
Okay. At this point,
that's played over and over again.
It's just halfway.
This is probably good. Back
to
to just kind of talk over too.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just think it's kind of fun in the background. All right, Purnell, why don't we get on back?
Okay, so the next track I have for this episode is actually from a game that I recalled a few nights ago for this episode, and I'm glad I did because now I want to go back and play it again. It's been a long time, but it was released on the Xbox 360. And it was by the company Behemoth called BattleBlock Theater.
Oh yeah.
This is the
wait, are there cats in that game?
Oh, absolutely.
You're right.
This is the boss stage theme for that game. And I did not look up. Oh, the composer is named Patric, conveniently, Catani.
So, the city of Wyoming. The city of Wyoming.
The city.
That's
probably
not a real city.
Well, the city may exist actually, but the state doesn't.
Apologies to everyone.
No, Delaware doesn't exist.
Lives in Wyoming.
Delaware probably also doesn't exist. We're like
there are 3 people I know who pretend to be from Delaware, and you're 2 of them. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 of them. You're half of the people I know that pretend to be from Delaware. Delaware is not real. Change my mind.
We're the Bermuda Triangle of the United States.
Pennsylvania's armpit.
Then you drive through.
Delaware was invented by big corporations to evade tax.
We did. Yeah.
Actually, that's a fact.
No, we didn't invent it.
That is a fact.
We just perfected it.
Delaware is a conspiracy created by big corp to evade taxes.
And we have friends who work for CSC, Corporation Services Corporation, and that's all they do.
What?
They
is
just,
that real?
they just incorporate places.
That sounds so fake.
It's big business.
It makes big money though.
Yeah,
I bet it does.
You have an office in Delaware, but no one's in it.
Nothing like evading taxes, paying a buttload of money to avoid paying even more money.
Or you can drive down here and enjoy tax-free shopping.
And I remember coming across one thing where like there was an address that they used. It was like on one of like specials where they were actually talking about the whole practice of incorporation, and they referenced an address that was actually like 2 blocks from my old job. So I actually walked to the address, and it was pretty much between like a Chinese restaurant and like a small laundromat. And it was like this little narrow building that had nothing in it. It's like,
now I'll come down and we'll do tax-free shopping and we'll do a whole fashion montage and then Rob and I will sit there with our arms crossed and we're like no. And then we'll be like no, and then you'll come out with the perfect outfit and we'll go yeah. And it'll have some sort of music and we'll get you
but it's gonna be all Falcon music because somehow we're gonna have to keep
the Sunshine Coastline.
We're gonna have to keep your positive spirits up through this whole process.
Yes, and anything it's going to do is going to be probably Sunshine Coastline. Yeah. So I'll take it.
So tell me about BattleBlock Theater. I mean, like what's the theater here?
So if I can remember correctly, because it's been a while, it's
musical theater.
Right?
The game is a 2D platformer with the premise being that a bunch of avatars are all on board the SS Friendship. It's a boat out in the ocean because they're all such great friends. And then in the middle of a storm, which the narrator is amazing, and then he goes, the water goes whoosh, 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 and the boat goes, whoa! And the boat crashes onto an island, and your best friend, Hattie Haddington, gets kidnapped. Yeah. And basically, they put a hat on his head, and he becomes possessed by the hat.
Excellent.
And to rescue Hattie, you have to go through this theater that is run by a bunch of, like, cats in, like, security guard outfits. And pretty much go through a bunch of stages to ultimately rescue Hattie.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Hattie.
But
it's narrated by Stamper, who has a very intense energy.
Yes, if you have time to listen to that beginning, you owe it to yourself just to
also,
smile.
Listen to the secret song, which is sung by Stamper.
Ooh.
I was telling Pernell over like while we were listening to the song that I did actually beat this game co-op, but my God, it's like long enough that's quite exhausting.
This is the game where like you're shooting blocks onto other blocks to knock the blocks out.
No.
Right?
No. It is a 2D platformer.
It's a platformer.
Oh,
but the stages are all composed of blocks. Like everything's a block.
It's made by Behemoth, who did Castle Crashers, and I think they did Alien Hominid. I don't know. They did Castle Crashers.
The ending to this game definitely impacts Alien Hominid. Actually,
they're in the same unit. It's the Alien Hominid.
Oh my God, are they in the same universe?
Yep. So it's just like this weird thing where like everything in the stages is composed of blocks. Like the water is blocks connected together, and they're water blocks.
I'm sure there are like there are level creators.
It's just such a cool game. The music in it is wacky. The narrative is wacky. It's just fun. And you unlock new stages by acquiring currency, which is earned by going through these stages and finding the diamonds in the levels, and then also getting diamonds for beating the stages as well.
And you want to go fast, too, if you can.
Yep. In fact, this music plays in levels where the clock's actually ticking downward, and you have to get to the end of them before you run out of time. It's just a good game that no one. I mean, I want to say it was good at its time. Like people talked about it a little when it came out because it was the Behemoth and they were big for like Xbox games. But then it dropped off very quickly.
Oh, how did I never know about this game? What am I getting it confused with? What am I getting this game confused with?
That's a good question because I can't think of anything like it.
It's like a GameCube game or something.
No, it was on Xbox 360.
No, I'm getting this confused with something that's like you shoot blocks into other blocks and it knocks them out.
Oh,
don't know.
are you talking about that one game on the Wii that Steven Spielberg did?
Yeah.
Oh! Yeah.
What's that one called?
Boom Blocks.
Oh.
Boom Blocks. Yeah, I thought this was Steven Spielberg presents Boom Blocks.
That's a different game, though. That's a totally different game.
Steven Spielberg gets his.
This is Christopher Nolan presents BattleBlock Theater.
I forgot. Oh my god! Imagine it would become even more unhinged.
The funny thing about it is that the game was in its own right
game.
a good game, but the fact that it was like Steven Spielberg presents Boom Blocks. That was not what you
I
expected.
forgot about Boom Blocks.
Yeah, every time I saw BattleBlock
Rewound to a time from before I was born.
Turn back the clock.
If I could turn back blocks.
Time.
All right, so look, we spent a lot of time talking on the break.
Oh my god!
So we are very little time off for any more bonus rounds. So we're gonna have to do the double. Next episode is gonna be oops all bonus rounds.
Or we could just play the tracks for them, even if we're not standing around talking about them.
Now we're going to talk about them.
We're going to talk about
I love you say that. I love you saying that because you're so optimistic.
Yeah. Should I introduce my my bonus round song?
Yeah.
First,
what?
The bonus round.
Oh, welcome to the bonus round. I should announce what the bonus round is for any of our new listeners.
Yes.
The bonus round is where we play covers and remixes and arrangements on our theme. And we all brought a song, and we're going to listen to them. Gosh darn it.
Golly,
dang darn it. So,
yeah.
Night in the Woods is a game where you play as a cat, and you drop out of college, and you go back to your hometown. And in your hometown, there are a bunch of little mini games, like you go eat pizza with your friends, and you have knife stabby battles with your best friend. But then you also have a little rock band with your friends. And one of the songs is called Die Anywhere Else, which very much exemplifies that feeling of being stuck in this small town. And it was originally written by the late Alec Holowka, but this cover is by MandoPony.
Dust on this tired old streets. Mark corners where we used to play. Dust trace our tired old feet. Circles as we pace our time away. I just wanna die anywhere else. If only I could die anywhere else. So come with me, let's die anywhere else. Anywhere, just not here. Stuck on this dead end street, where all the new kids come to play. Stuck where the past and future meet. Watching all our autumns drift away. I just wanna die anywhere else. If only I could die anywhere else. So come with me, let's die anywhere else. Anywhere, just not here. And if they ever hear my name, will they know I walked alone around these dusty streets, my tired old home? And will they ever stop to think what was here before? No, they won't remember that I'm gone. I just wanna die anywhere else. If only I could die anywhere else. So come with me, let's die anywhere else. Anywhere, just not here. Oh no.
Yes. So, Chel.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed this track. I've never played the game. I have it on my list of games to play, and I just haven't gotten around to it. Is this similar to the original in the game at all?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
So essentially, in the rock band, you play you're May, and she plays bass, and so it plays like Guitar Hero Rock Band, where you have like notes coming down, and instead of like actual human vocals, it's kind of like video gamey sounding. But there are lyrics, like there are words that like come across the screen, and it's like you have the four faces of the characters as they're like playing their instruments. It's like this little music video, and it does sound like the song, but then they just oh, let's take this already existing song and then like record actual instruments and sing with an actual human voice over it. And there's like 2 or 3 songs that you can play, but this one is the best song in my opinion. And the cover is very true to it, and it just feels like what the song would be like. So yeah, it's a good cover.
And Night in the Woods is one of those games I've been meaning to play at some point because I've heard good things. Like it's an existential game of sorts.
Night in the Woods is a game that I feel like when I saw the Kickstarter for it, it was marketed more like a mystery, and the mystery is less important than the vibes of like that weird limbo of millennialism where you're trapped, where you feel like you have no money and no future and no job, and you don't know where you're going in your life, and you're like, you see these kids and they're like where you used to be, but like you're not a kid anymore. That's just, like you don't feel like an adult.
This is 20s. So, this is 20s.
Yeah, this is the 20s, especially in the nowadays thing. And there's a character named Selmers, I think, who has like this poem about like college, like you go to college and you get these jobs, and these jobs are supposed to be home buying jobs, and then become apartment renting jobs, and then become staying in your parents' basement jobs. And it's like, and it's just like, dang, it hits hard. But I feel like this is my personal take that like there's a lot of charm in Night in the Woods, but also if you feel like you're playing for the overarching like story, quote unquote mystery, that's not what the game is actually about. And so just enjoy it more for the vibes and walking around it.
Yes, and that's what I'm coming to it for. Because like I said, like everything I've heard about it was that it has, and you just kind of confirmed it, is that it's got this existential element to it where like these characters are just trying to find where the heck they belong, like what they're
good
doing.
Charming music too. Yeah,
and I like that. I like games that do that.
Yeah,
you can also have a knife fight.
And you have a knife fight. Is that the secret why you started liking the knife?
No.
Yeah, where do the knives begin, and where does Chel end? When did they begin? Yeah.
When did my interest in butterfly knives exist? Butterfly knives, otherwise known officially as balisong. I was interested in probably when I was playing Team Fortress 2 in like the late 2010s era. And I was a scout man. I don't play spy for shit.
Scout was fun. That's fine. Just grab the briefcase and bolt.
But yeah, I was a cart pusher. But yeah, butterfly knives are cool, and I always wanted one when I was a teenager. And I never got one because parents wouldn't let me get one. And now that I'm approaching 30, I can do whatever I want. And I have my own apartment now. And I manage the finances of my apartment. And so, yeah, I decided, like, here, I'm going to go. I bought my first balisong was a bottle opener shark. And that was by Squid Industries. It's called the Mako. And then I just started getting more and more. And now I'm, like, buying and selling beans. I just like the trade. However, it has gotten a little out of hand. So if one of y'all want to be my sugar daddy,
you keep asking for.
I'll do it.
For
now.
On the positive, at least knives don't take up as much space as board games do.
Oh my god, it's so relatable. Like, I look at board games; they look so fun.
Pretty full right now.
But time and coordination. And how much time it takes to play an actual game, and how much time it takes to coordinate people, and how many people you need, and you're like, oh, I have too many people to play this one board game I want to try, but not enough people for this other game, or like this one game is really fun, but it's also 3 hours long.
That's why it's all about this. It's all about the magic of weekly meets.
I know.
Finally settling into.
I wish I had weekly meets for board games.
It's all the magic. Though the downside to the weekly meets is that you also want to find people that you're friends with, but I haven't quite nailed that down. But I at least get to play
you two are
games
tight.
I have. But Rob has a baby.
It's so much harder to play when the baby needs a lot of attention. So soon the baby will be
a chill game. That's why you need a low-key game like Machi Koro or like Tokaido or do you have Tokaido?
No, my cousin does. Tokaido's fun. That's all right.
Yeah, that's like a really chill game. It's more about the vibes.
Yeah, what did we play
Until
last
someone
time?
blocks your destination.
We played that train game. We played.
Ticket a Ride?
Yeah, no, it was called Switch and.
Oh, that game, Switch and Signal.
Switch and Signal. Yeah, that was fun. It was like Pandemic, except it was trains. It was really good. Okay, Pernell,
okay.
your bonus round. Oh, actually, I'm next. My bonus round track.
Oh.
Good God. All right, so this is a cover of some music from the game, one of my favorite games, Spiritfarer. This is now this game has multiplayer. They just didn't really tell a lot of people about it. You play as a young girl on a ship ferrying spirits to the afterlife or through the afterlife, and then kind of helping them and talking to them through their life experiences and getting to know them. Throughout this entire little mission that you do, you have a cat that's with you. And the cat is helping you cut down trees and helping you plant, all sorts of food and stuff for everyone. But if you plug in a second controller and hit the start button or the option button or whatever, a second player can play as the cat and you can work together. And it's pretty cool. There's all these like special animations just for the cat. So that's how I'm tying this music into it. We're going to listen to Gwen's theme from Spiritfarer. Gwen's theme from Spiritfarer. This was a remix, by the artist. I don't remember right now.
Baby in the brain.
It was like 3 letters. It was like someone who put a bunch of stuff up on YouTube, and so I'll have all of that information on our website and on the show notes of the podcast. But Pernell, what's your next track for us?
So, and actually now I feel like tonight I'm going to buy the sequel to this because I've been kicking around long enough. But This track is from the first version, or the first game, Freedom Planet, mind you. The cat in reference being Carol, the cat with a motorcycle for some reason.
Love it.
But it's a fantastic game. If you've never played it and you like the classic Sonic vibe, you would like Freedom Planet. But this track is a cover of Fortune Knight Area 1, and it was done by Blue Taro.
That was really cute.
Was it?
That was cute. It was super cute.
That was cute.
That was cute.
You're cute.
This is from Freedom.
You're adorable, man.
Oh, this is from Freedom Planet. This is a cover of the Fortune Knight 1 stage theme, covered by Blue Taro. It's funny that I have only played one track, maybe two from this game in the history of the show, and it was pretty much Fortune Knight 1. So it was kind of nice to be like, I can look for a cover of this track, and I can do it again, technically, because I love this track so darn much. This and the Air and the Sky Battalion levels are
I was going to say,
choice.
This game sounds familiar, because you mentioned it on the show like one time.
Yeah, but it's a good game, though.
Stuck in the back of my brain. Well, for more information on the bonus round, please go to rhythmandpixels.com, where we'll have links to all these artists' Bandcamps and SoundClouds, and everywhere where you can go download, buy, stream the music, support these artists. I want to thank you, everyone, for listening to us and joining us on this episode. This is the last episode of Season 36-10 of Rhythm and Pixels. This is Felines with Chel Wong Audio.
Yeah.
At Chel Wong Audio. Thanks for coming on the show.
It's been great
Thank
having
you.
Yeah.
I've missed you guys so much, So we definitely need to hang out more often, but I was like, I need to wait until I have something to plug. And now I do. It's Whisker Squadron Survivors. Check it out. Wishlisted on Steam, or if the episode's already out, go ahead and buy it. And you can get a bundle with the soundtrack as well. I I worked really hard in the audio, music, and sound design, and it's the same developers as Race the Sun, so you know it's going to be good. But yeah, and also if you want more from me, I'm at Chel Wong Audio everywhere. If you want to see my knives, it's on Instagram.
Get the slice.
A lot of knives.
Is it Chel Wong Knives and Audio?
No, it's just Chel Wong Audio, and then I have a new YouTube channel, which is Chel Wong Ballad Song.
Excellent. So great. What was I going to say? I can't remember anymore. Anyway.
/Adams.
You don't have to have something to plug in order to come on our show.
Oh, absolutely.
You are a pleasure to have as a guest on our show every time.
Keep in mind, something to plug, quote unquote, could be just a game you like.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to
or
be
it's like
a professional product.
You can plug
Let me
your
plug
own.
my Ballad Song YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, our next episode will be about your knives. Or just
Oh my god, if we could have a knife episode.
Sharp things.
Famous game knives.
And if you want to get in contact with the show, the best thing you can do is to send us an email.
rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com.
And we can also check out our website.
www.rhythmandpixels.com.
Links to all of our episodes, past episodes are on there, and links to our Discord is on the website, and just information about the show you can get right there. You can we have a YouTube radio station, Rhythm and Pixels Radio, youtube.com/Rhythm and Pixels. And if you want to support the show, the best thing you can do is just to share it, tell people about it. You can also support us by going to Patreon, patreon.com/Rhythm and Pixels. As a member there, you get access to ad-free episodes. You get access to our live stream events, which we'll have to get back to soon.
Yes, we need to actually have like 2 Patreon episodes.
Yeah, we need to
point.
kind of got a backlog of Patreon episodes to get onto. But as a member, you also get stuff like stickers, there's mugs, and there's exclusive T-shirts. And we also like to thank all of our members who are at the highest levels at the end of every episode. So we want to thank Brooke, Corey, and Khalid, the 3 of you. Thank you very, very much. And I think we just received an email from Khalid.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that. We
very much appreciate it.
No, actually, it was Vashin8060, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to look at my email again, make sure. I'm going to shout out everybody anyway. I want to thank you to Kristen, GameFam44, Martyrus, host of the ReVGM podcast. Thank you to Mike, my fellow father out there, Mike. Thank you to Fashion8060. I want to thank Super Game Station, www.supergamestation.com. Thank you to the Antmaster, Brian Pitt, Cameron Werma, Carlos, Kung Fu Carlito, host of the Heroes 3 podcast, Chris Weisner, a.k.a. Musashi219.
The Wise Guy.
I want to thank you to Christopher Senstrom, host of the Gameable Audio podcast, Chuck Kowalski, Davey Cakes, David Good, David Taylor, Enchilada Regol, Harold Howard, Triple Jeff, Justin Schneider, host of the XVGM Radio podcast, Keith Schusterman, Rage Cage, host of the VG Emporium, Reinhard Zilkova, Sleepy S'more, Steve Miller, Taco, and Zach Thornbach. It was Zach.
By the way, Zach.
I saw the name. I'm
right
like,
there, literally.
Thank you very much for that email. It was really, really nice to read it and to see. So,
and I will say, just as a reiteration to that point, that email came at like the right freaking time. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we really needed that to hear that. So it was super important. So thank you. We don't always respond, but we read everything that gets sent to us, and it's really, really nice. So thank you very much. Next week is going to be another throwback episode. So episodes that have fallen off the feed because the feed is too long. I'm bringing back every other week. So last week was Ease, and this following week I haven't picked it yet, but it might be like a Christmas episode or something like
Ease
Christmas
Part 2.
Yeah, did we do a second Ease?
We did Ease again.
We did Ease again, but that's on the feed. You can find that one. But there's stuff out there that's not on the feed, so we're kind of popping that out.
Good Place Games.
Good Place Games is a really good one.
Actually, and it ties into the earlier topic we had, too.
Yeah,
so.
actually, anything that's earlier than World 3, I think, is what we can get on there. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's how far back it is. It was 2016 or 2016 or 2017 was the last one. Yeah, I know, that was a long time ago. Older than Chel, actually. Yeah. All right, Chel, thanks again for coming on our show. We really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Thank you, everybody, for joining the show. It's Rhythm and Pixels. My name is Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernell.
Have a great day.
And remember, I like to talk trash about cats half the friggin' time. You know, you don't own a cat. The cat owns you. They'll pee on your furniture. They pee on your cables. They nibble through your
My
stuff.
rugs.
All your precious rugs. Yeah, they're just gone. Cats take care of them. But let's be honest here. Cats are probably some of the best roommates you can have if you're looking for just like a random pet companion just to have around your home. Because, yeah, they are kind of autonomous and do their own thing. But also, As a result of that, you know that when a cat wants to spend time with you, it's because the cat actually wants to spend time with you. And when the cat doesn't want to, it's going to tell you, get the heck out of here. I'm going to slash your face. But I will say I genuinely have enjoyed the time I've spent with cats at friends' houses. And just how Rob's cat headbutts me whenever I come to visit. Literally headbutts me.
He's super friendly.
You should meet my cats. Have Kyo and Roki, and my roommate's cat's name is Rigby.
Rigby.
Oh,
That's a great cat name.
I love my sons. They're so good.
Cats
they're so
get the best
fluffy.
names.
They're so dumb.
Yeah, and that's what makes them extra special. It's like they're their own beings that just kind of hang out in the house with you. They make great companions. So if you have the space and the capacity and the time, and also you can waterproof your toys, by all means, get yourself a cat. Go adopt a cat. Find one on the street. Lead it to your house with a can of tuna fish, and then get it rabies shots. Have fun with your pets. Get a pet, and ultimately kind of also save the life of a furry friend.
Spay and neuter your animals.
That's right. Bob Barker.
Yeah.